Alright, let's try this thing again. I spent 9 days in the Thousand Islands in Canada, which is about an hour drive from New York. So this beautiful red cottage has been in my family for generations. My grandmother, father, and I have all grown up coming here, which is really cool. Except for the pitying fact that they couldn't make a cool YouTube video about it.
Well, no, it was coming from Turkey.
So for this vacation, I decided to use the Nikon F2 and the Pentax 6x7, which are two of my most favorite cameras ever made. I think the Nikon F2 is a perfect camera, and as far as medium format goes, the Pentax is the most fun to use in my opinion. In the Workhorse F2, I decided to start with expired slide film, which is a horrible idea, especially since my first roll of expired slide film came back bluer than the ocean. Provia 400F would have to be the great redeemer. And being afraid of cool colors like a rabid animal is afraid of water, I put on a warming filter, Sepia 2 by Tiffin. I was inspired to use slide film because my grandparents have obviously all their old family photos are slides, and my grandparents weren't able to make it this year, so I wanted to capture all these images on slides, or as many as I could, in order to show them when I got back to town, because I know they love being up here. I really enjoy getting together as a family and going through slides, and I hope mine can be a part of that someday. This would be the first roll in the Pentax for me, so I wanted to take it slow and make sure she enjoyed it. I thought Portra 400 would be perfect for the job. However, you read the title, so this Portra is expired in 2017, so I rated it at 160 ISO.
Go ahead, Kai. That's okay.
At the beginning of our first full day on the island, Scoobs and the gang went for a walk around the neighborhood. I shot a few on the F2, and I'd given my Yashica T4 to my brother, along with cheapest film I could find, Portra 800. After waking up at the ass crack of dawn to two squirrels beefing over who has the biggest nuts, I decided to take my two kids for a paddle around the island. It was a great morning, and I was lucky that the water was calm because any turbulence would have sent the Pentax 6x7 to swim with the fishes. Decided to huck some Delta 3200 in the Pentax 6x7 with the usual high hopes but low expectations. This is a sibling to the roll that I shot a few months ago, and it ended up being a little underexposed because this film also expired about a decade ago. I must have forgotten that 3200 ages like my hairline, so I shot this roll at 1000 ISO. As soon as I was thinking about what film to bring on this trip, I thought about bringing a high ISO black and white film for this boathouse. They ended up being mid. I didn't really get anything that I liked out of this, to be honest. Plus the lines from the X-ray machine doesn't really complete the look that I'm going for.
So like, I think it'll make it work. Okay.
So with that abomination out of the camera, it was time to throw in some old ass film, Ektar 25. It took a lot of effort to rescue it from the fridge, where everyone thought it was the cheese package. This film was already incredibly low speed at a box speed of 25 ISO, but after 32 years of exploration, I ended up rating this at 6 ISO.
Bruh.
I spent day 4 with this roll, kind of going on a tour around the island trying to capture the red cottage in all of its glory. I gotta take the shot because these flies are in love with me. With how expired this roll is, the reds and blues kind of grab you like Jake Gyllenhaal in that one movie. You know what I'm talking about. This last shot here is staged, but I think it's warranted. These are my grandmother's trick skis, or they're skis for kids. But either way, I think they're cool, and I think it came out beautifully on Ektar 25. I was able to get up on these skis for a little bit, but it kind of suffered from a lack of backflips, so I made up for that on the tube. Like me, the Pentax 6x7 can't get over its past lovers, so we mutually decided on more Portra 400. There's a little alcove on the island called Half Moon Bay. My great-grandfather actually has a plaque there, so I think this place is kind of special. There happened to be a service that Sunday, so I decided to go. I spent my last frames of Provia here before I decided to load a slide film in way worse condition. Yes, this Astia 100F also expired in 2007 like the Provia, but I know for a fact it had a way worse upbringing. So, hopes were not high, but I figured it was time to give the old Astia some light.
Sometimes your healing brings calm. Your comfort and your challenge to the world online. Science, government, medicine, and the law to improve the quality of life. Give them a big heart.
Let's get it. That's kind of nasty.
So over the remaining 3 days of the trip, it really slowed down. I took some photos here and there, but there wasn't anything crazy happening. We did go for a sunset boat ride, which was calming, except for the fact that the competition was breathing right down my neck. On the last day of the cottage, we pulled out an old game called Skittles that my great-grandfather Gus had brought to the cottage. So we played some music from that era. So you pull this string and the top goes and you knock down pins like bowling. And I definitely didn't lose on the last turn and flip over the table and start a huge family fight. And now it was time to head back to the summer internship. I finished up the Astia 100F in the hotel lobby, and I finished the Portra 400 from the Pentax at the airport. My day at the airport started off hot, with both of us getting strip searched and me having to take the camera apart at TSA. Ashamed, I had to drag it aboard the plane that would take us back to Denver. So overall thoughts, it's a beautiful location with a lot of sentimental value. So for me, it's kind of hard to take a bad photo here. Honestly, after white balancing out the browning filter, I think the slide film shots came out really well. I enjoy how they're really flat and muted with not a lot of contrast. Overall, I wish I could have gotten more candid family moments, but I think that's always a deal with me, is trying to be in the moment and also capture great photos that are the moment. Kind of goes back and forth. I think it's really fun to use old film that hasn't been used since the Jurassic period, like that Ektar 25. That was really surprising in a good way. I try to go every summer, so hopefully next year I'll make another video like this and have some better photos. All right, that's enough. Get out of here.
Thank you.